Hello everybody and welcome back to the F1 2021 Co-op Career Mode Season 4 with me, Dan, and of course my co-commentator Nick, with Matt Amos and Lon1138 providing the graphics as usual. And we come to round 5, almost at the 1/3 mark of the season. So far a dominated season by two midfield teams in the traditional sense, that is Alpha Tauri and Aston Martin. And actually both teams sporting a home driver for this race. So we'll have to see if either Lance Stroll or Nicholas Latifi can put in a good performance here. And, well, hopefully both of them will try and go for the win. Don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. And, of course, comment down below what your highlight of the Grand Prix was. And we'll move on shortly to the starting grid. And here they come. And once again, Justin Freshpot puts his Mercedes on pole ahead of championship leader Pierre Gasly in his AlphaTauri. Then the first Canadian, Nicholas Latifi, starts on the second row alongside Yuki Tsunoda. Then it's back to George Russell in the first of the Red Bulls and Antonio Giovinazzi in the first Aston Martin. Lando Norris in P7 starts alongside Lewis Hamilton in the Williams once again. And then behind them, running out the top 10, it's Lance Stroll, the other Canadian, and Valtteri Bottas. Starting on to P11 and 12, it's Nikita Mazepin alongside Carlos Sainz in the McLaren. Behind them, we have Radiant Slothz with a good qualifying. He's alongside Charles Leclerc in the HAAS. Then back one more space, it's the Alfa Romeo of Robert Schwartzman. He's alongside the second McLaren of Guan Yu Zhou. Mick Schumacher in the other HAAS starts alongside Esteban Ocon on the penultimate row. And running up the back, we have Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez in the Alpine.
The world's greatest driver on pole, Justin Freshpot.
Pierre Gasly, the French driver, next to him, not on pole, as we get away in Canada.
Lights out, Justin Freshpot. An okay start.
Nicholas Latifi with an incredible dive bomb in front of his home crowd. The crowd are loving it. They are on their feet, throwing things into the racetrack at Justin Freshpot. Pierre Gasly's trying to crash into him as well. Nicholas Latifi, incredible.
This might as well be Justin Freshpot's home Grand Prix as we see Radiant Slothz about to crash in someone. He corner cuts instead.
He gets
pushes the Alfa Romeo wide.
Valtteri Bottas, Carlos Sainz makes his way through as well, but he's now under attack from the McLaren in payback for what he just did to Valtteri Bottas. Justin Freshpot coming down into the hairpin now.
Still behind Latifi.
Nicholas Latifi whipping the Canadian crowd up into a frenzy. They've got all the flags out right now. It is civil war in the grandstands. Fights are breaking out between the British and Canadian fans. The French are also there. This is going to be one hell of a Grand Prix.
But Justin Freshpot, this is the one track he is good at, and he will not want someone else winning.
On board at the start.
Bogged down slightly, gets some wheel spin in gear 2. Latifi goes up the inside. Pierre Gasly on the outside. Latifi runs wide. Justin Freshpot trying to fight off Gasly. Going to come back at him into this corner.
There he is. There's more contact there. And
Justin Freshpot stays ahead.
This was Radiant Slothz on his adventure. Down into turn 1. Good start for once against the McLaren until traction was needed, and here we go into turn 1. Gets cut up by Valtteri Bottas. That will explain his slightly aggressive overtake later on the lap, which we're about to see. They're still side by side coming down into the chicane, and it comes from quite a long way back to slide it up the inside. There's Nikita Mazepin in front. He takes caution.
It's the Alfa Romeo.
Extreme caution.
An illegal overtake.
Gets past. And this was the end of lap 2. We had a safety car deployed. This is Mick Schumacher into the wall of champions and then smashed by Max Verstappen.
Will that be a sign of things to come? Will Mazepin be a champion?
Box.
Will Mazepin be a champion in a Williams? Will Mick Schumacher be a champion in a HAAS? Not in this race, he won't. But in comes Justin Freshpot.
The only one of the front three, let's be honest, the only of the three who have a chance of winning the race to pit. A fresh set of boots.
Box.
Radiant Slothz is going to come in as well.
Probably got front wing damage, so he'll need to pit under the safety car. Justin Freshpot dropping positions now.
They're all heading away. Lewis Hamilton, another early stop at Charles Leclerc comes in as well. These 4 drivers will be in a good position nearer the end of this race when the pit stop window comes in, as we're back at the restart.
Justin Frescott ready to go. He wants to get past
Oh,
this
we've got a
McLaren.
massive fire!
There's a massive fire on track.
Robert Schwartzman has set his car on fire.
Everyone blast past. I think Justin Freshbot has got through. Radiant Slothz, will he crash?
He goes up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. No, he's defending from Lewis Hamilton. Tried overtaking Guan Yu Zhou, but was not able to in the braking zone. And now Lewis Hamilton, in a much faster car, is attempting to get past. What can Radiant Slothz do in that Ferrari? He's probably not going to be able to get past the McLaren without DRS. Then again, probably won't be able to get past it with DRS either, because that car is incredibly slow. As Lewis Hamilton goes to the outside, he gets blocked by Radiant Slothz. This was the restart from his eyes. There's Robert Schwartzman there, pulled off to the side, smoking. And he got past Lewis Hamilton into turn 1.
The corner.
No contact. Measure.
Probably hit Lewis Hamilton and drives away without exchanging insurance information.
Justin Freshbot going
on Valtteri Bottas, the former world champion. Very close to the back of that Alfa Romeo, but he keeps it clean. Will he get a better exit?
He's had an exit, that's for sure, and he's close behind.
40 horsepower, that Mercedes engine.
A yellow flag.
Rear tyres, there's a yellow flag. He's going to overtake anyway. Valtteri Bottas pushes him to the inside. Justin Freshbot gets through, close to the wall.
He is still within a few. We've got another yellow flag going into. Oh no, it's a green flag going into turn 1. Can the marshals please make up their minds? But Justin Freshbot is through into the top 10.
Now he's chasing down Carlos Sainz. He needs to stay within 20 seconds of Latifi and Gasly. But this traffic is now when he sends a massive dive bomb up the inside of the McLaren.
The McLaren
his former
gets the better pull away there, and he'll have to do it on the DRS now, which he did pick up. Oh, there's no DRS still. Carlos Sainz squeezes to the outside wall.
Justin Freshbot not given much room, but he's through and he's ahead. That's another overtake. Now Nikita Mazepin. This could be dangerous. The yellow flag's still waving into turn 1.
The yellow flag for caution being waved for Justin Freshbot to let him know he is approaching Nikita Mazepin from behind. He is 9.5 minutes behind, but he will catch him quite quickly. And we'll have to see.
Now with DRS.
The Williams with no DRS. What can it do? The Mercedes is not fast enough. Nikita Mazepin, he comes into the pits. Massive corner cut from Justin Freshbot. And no intention of making the corner. Unbelievable.
Justin Freshbot thrown off by Mazepin pit and misses his own braking zone. Almost hits the wall of championship. Thankfully, for all the millions of Justin Freshbot fans around the world, he stays in this race.
Radiant Slothz. Oh, Lewis Hamilton compromises Guan Yu Zhou, and he's going to get both of them. It's a drag race of the Williams down into the hairpin. Radiant Slothz goes to the outside, then the inside. He's going to have a little look. Guan Yu Zhou there.
Hit the McLaren.
That's a massive lock-up from Lewis Hamilton in front. Guan Yu Zhou hits the wall. Unbelievable. Let's see the onboard. Both going very slow. Slips past. And then the 7-time world champion ahead. Not quite on the best of form. Hasn't won a race for about 3 seasons now. Is feeling the pressure from the team. Was booted out of another. And now we're back on board with Justin Freshbot.
Now up to 4th.
Nicholas Latifi still up in first. Making what can only be described as another questionable strategy not coming in at the appropriate time.
Will now take the lead of the race when George Russell inevitably pits, hopefully. But those tyres are going to be very old by the end of the race.
Through he goes. And now George Russell is his last target. Radiant Slothz about to follow Lewis Hamilton past another car during an overtake. That is Sergio Perez. And just ahead of them, Esteban Ocon. The 2 Alpines much faster than the Ferrari.
Radiant
as are all
Slothz
the
here,
cars.
going down a straight so he can't corner cut.
Up
That's
the
the only way he
inside.
knows how to overtake.
Lewis Hamilton up the inside of Esteban Ocon as well. Radiant Slothz on Sergio Perez. Oh, Lewis Hamilton brake checks him on the chicane.
Someone locked up through the wall of champions. Over there, and it just set on fire.
Radiant Slothz under massive pressure. He's got
Radiant
the
Slothz
championship
is gonna
leader.
crash.
Charles Leclerc crashes into him. Oh, he's brake checked him off the circuit. Disgusting
Radiant
driving.
Slothz hits his teammate Max Verstappen on the radio, calling Radiant Slothz an idiot for hitting him. Green flags, obviously, for that massive incident involving 5 cars.
We've got to go on board for this. This is the move on Sergio Perez. There's Lewis Hamilton up ahead, going past Esteban Ocon. They go into the wall of champions. Lewis Hamilton stops on the apex, causing Radiant Slothz to lock up, nearly hitting Sergio Perez, and then running down into turn 1. Out of nowhere, Charles Leclerc cuts across, hits the Ferrari, and then brake checks him on the runoff area. Disgusting.
And then Radiant Slothz takes out his aggression on his teammate.
This was the disgusting move from Charles Leclerc.
Incredible move from Charles Leclerc.
He moved to the right. He moved to the right. Did you see that steering wheel? Disgusting driving from Charles
And there's
Leclerc.
the collision between the Ferraris. Radiant Slothz will be reprimanded by the team as Justin Freshbot now looking to take first place in this Grand Prix. I don't know if George Russell is pit, but they are very far ahead, these two.
He is
Justin Freshbot
got
down
ahead.
the inside.
And that's
George
it.
Russell retires the car
He retakes the lead. Lewis Hamilton in second, 12
Justin
seconds
Freshbot
behind.
with a 12-second lead, but very old tyres that still have to do another 7 laps. Luckily, there's a yellow flag into turn 1, so we can go slowly.
This is Radiant Sloths up ahead. The 2 Alpines. Well, one of them's come in now, but one of the Alpines and the AlphaTauris. Tsunoda looks up the inside. There is damage to the Ferrari now after that incident.
Yuki Tsunoda, much better exit, much better driver. He's going to go down the inside.
He's already
Easily
passed.
through. Radiant Sloths drives on the grass for some reason,
Presumably
throwing
out of
dirt
fear.
into the eyes of Lando Norris.
And now
Disgraceful.
the 2 Red Bulls. There's George Russell, Lando Norris. The Aston Martins also following, massively fast compared to the Ferrari, and that should become pretty apparent. Radiant Sloth's doing all he can. His teammate Max
massive corner
Verstappen
cut.
all the way down in 12th, can't do anything. Absolutely crap driver.
Radiant Sloths now pushing George Russell onto the grass. George Russell gets past anyway.
Radiant Sloths knows he has no chance of beating these cars. He tries to
And now
defend
Lando
from Norris.
He's gone as well.
He can't do
Radiant
anything.
Sloths is dropping down the order. Will we see Lance Stroll get past? No, because Radiant Sloths cuts him up.
He's tried his best. His tyres aren't even that old at this point. They've still got some life in them. Lance Stroll with the DRS. Will he get him before the Wall of Champions? He's going to go to the inside. Radiant Sloths defends. Lance Stroll already passed. Oh, but he comes back at him!
A massive
Incredible.
corner cut. An incredible corner cut. The steward turning another blind eye.
He's
to
under
the
attack from
reckless
both of them.
driving of Radiant Sloths.
Antonio
He deserves
Giovinazzi.
to be
Oh, there's been a
overtaken by these
massive
two.
accident!
I have to say, that is deserved and justified for Radiant Sloths.
Radiant
Another
Sloths.
massive corner cut and illegal overtake. He's dumped out of the points. He drives onto the grass.
With the
This
replay,
is what he deserves.
the victim in this situation, minding his own business. Here comes Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi up the inside.
And Radiant
Lance
Sloths
Stroll
just drives into the side of Lance Stroll.
turns
drives onto
in.
the grass.
Lance
Has a look
Stroll
at the
turns
fire
into
truck.
him. And we're about to see some Ferrari on Ferrari action. One Ferrari has a fair amount of damage to his aero setup now. The other does not. I think we can probably guess which one is not damaged. And that's right, it is Max Verstappen. He has got a perfectly functioning car and is losing multiple positions to everyone else. All of those cars sitting behind him will catch him before the end of this race, apart from Sergio Perez, who somehow has ended up 10 seconds behind his teammate. Radiant Sloths up the inside into the Wall of Champions. He gets past, nice and clean, easy overtake. But Antonio Giovinazzi has caught him. His Imola all over again, pushes him down into 13th place. Radiant Sloths has no choice but to concede the position. Further up the order, team orders, Pierre Gasly takes second place from Nicolas Latifi. And Justin
Freshbot, 16 lap old tyres, I believe. He comes through the Water Champions a final time, crossed the line. I don't know when
he's shaking all over the place. Oh no! What's happening? He's had a massive accident. Pieces of car everywhere.
The car has exploded.
Unbelievable. AlphaTauri coming through.
They drives past. They didn't even stop to check if he's okay. Yeah, huge accident.
Let's see what happens.
Justin Freshbot loses the car, smashes it to pieces. We just have to hope he's okay.
The halo coming into full effect there. Radiant Slothz also coming into the final corner. Run out of ERS, unsurprisingly. Decides to take a shorter route to the finish line. And he crosses in front of... Oh, he nearly loses the rear. There must be some oil on that part of the track. But he does not check on his former teammate, Justin Freshbot, either. And Lewis Hamilton picks up driver of the day. Not sure where he finished. And that makes it, is that 4 back-to-back wins at Canada now for Justin Freshbot?
An incredible driver and an incredible man, you have to say. Look at him go.
Look at him go. The Mercedes crew are loving it. They look familiar. They might have been at a different team in the past. And I forget, actually, it's only 3 wins here at Canada for Justin Freshbot. Oh, and he's antagonising the crowd once again. Every single time he wins this race, whips them up into a storm. The AlphaTauri drivers want no part of it, as Justin Freshbot exerts his far-right views on the Canadian public, implying that he is their ruler as a member of the British country. And that's all for the Canadian Grand Prix, with Justin Freshbot taking his 3rd win out of the last 5 seasons at this circuit. He was joined on the podium by Pierre Gasly and home hero Nicholas Latifi. Behind them we had Lewis Hamilton, George Russell and Lando Norris, followed by the other Canadian Lance Stroll. Then it was Nikita Mazepin, Yuki Tsunoda and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10 finishers. So over in the Drivers' Championship, Pierre Gasly's lead is extended over Antonio Giovinazzi once again, although Justin Freshbot is now beginning to reel in the Italian and the Frenchman. Behind them we had Lance Stroll, Nicholas Latifi, Lewis Hamilton, Yuki Tsunoda, George Russell, Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. Over in the Constructors, AlphaTauri extend their lead over Aston Martin. Mercedes have begun a catch-up attempt. But it's Red Bull, Williams, McLaren, HAAS, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo and Alpine on 0 points. We'll catch you in the next one.